We finally have the first physical office of our migration company in Mexico, and now it's not just Canada, we've expanded to many countries. We are going to tell you which country suits you best.
When I started high school in Canada, I was the only Hispanic. And yes, I felt special, I was popular, it boosted my ego and my spirits. Everyone wanted to have a Latino friend. We're popular around the world. But once I graduated and entered the workforce in construction, I realized the sad reality. The absence of Hispanics in Canada is a tragedy. It's a loss for both sides. Our workforce could not only help Canada across all the shortages and areas in its industries, but also raise the country to levels of production that Canadians simply never could. In turn, it would allow thousands of Hispanic families to thrive with excellent opportunities for their children. Without Latinos in Canada, we both lose, and I always wanted to do something about it. That's why this office was opened. Genuine.
I really want to increase the number of Hispanics, the Hispanic community in Canada, but dreaming is one thing, taking proactive action is another, so here we are.
This. We opened this office to provide free in-person immigration advice to those who want to immigrate.
Through,
Studies.
And you already know
What social media is like since I announced it, guys? I'm in Mexico opening the immigration office to assist you in person. Free consultations for those coming through the study route, everything. They started commenting, he's moving the company to Mexico to hide it from his ex because of my divorce.
In this video, we're not going to talk about my legal battle over the divorce. I just want to clarify that the company is not moving to Mexico to hide it from my ex.
This company is still registered, regulated, and accredited in Canada. In fact, all the paperwork done in this office goes to Edmonton. Everything is done from Edmonton. This is just a branch in Mexico.
I don't profit from this, I don't get paid. I do it because I like it, and because it's a good long-term investment. Katrina says yes, that it's impossible for me to help for free. This decision will be made by a court based on an investigation of my bank accounts, not opinions or videos. A thorough investigation of all my finances by Canadian investigators. I've already given them access to my bank accounts, and it's a judge in Canada who will decide whether I profit or not. For now, I'm just letting you know. I prefer to be here, in this office, attending to you, talking with you, rather than arguing with my ex.
But no guys, this is separate. This has nothing to do with my divorce. We had been planning to open an office for years. Welcome, come in. It makes it easier for you to come in person. We Hispanics are a more personal culture where we do things more one-on-one, face-to-face. And we don't just have Canada. Look, we already have the United States, England, Ireland, and Australia.
a larger logo will go here, but it's not done yet. Here is the shipping container wall. Sorry, I'm interrupting the consultation. Look, there's a free bathroom here because there are places here in Mexico that charge you to use the bathroom. At the bus terminal, ADO, I just bought a ticket for 700 pesos and it doesn't include the bathroom. There you have to pay 5 pesos. Here, the bathroom is free for those who come. Why is that?
A physical office? And how are we going to help immigrants get to Canada from here and to other countries? Canada can't sell you a residency. No, they can't say Canadian residency is for sale, but actually it is. You can buy it. It's just that you don't buy it directly from the Canadian government. You buy it through a school. That is, if you pay for education in Canada, you get to stay as a permanent resident in Canada. Of course, there are steps to follow, there are strategies, there are conditions that apply, but generally, that's how we could sum it up. A developed country, a G7 member like Canada, can't just put up an ad. Residencies for sale aren't allowed, but they do create that path to residency if you pay for school. The main disadvantage is the cost. It's a significant investment.
And before I tell you all the terrible disadvantages, let's look at what really matters, what I really want you to know, and what we should focus on, all the advantages. You can come with your whole family, with your children specifically. Everything we do isn't for ourselves, it's for them, the children. When you apply for residency through the study route, you can bring them, they get medical services, and go to Canadian public school. There, they'll learn perfect English, just like any other Canadian. Instead of spending on private schools in Mexico for them to learn English, it's better to spend it here. It's a team effort as parents. One pays for school, which is the way into the country, and the other works. Look, it's not about being sexist, but generally it works better when the woman is the one studying and the father is the one working. On average, it's from 16 to 24 months. The student will have a work permit and will be able to work 20 hours a week. Also, the student's wife will also receive an open work permit without having to prove English proficiency. The post-graduation work permit is for 3 years, which means that after finishing your studies, you will be given a work permit for 3 years. After this, you already have 1 foot in permanent residency. That's what I'm telling you, you're practically buying it. Some schools offer scholarships or support for master's degrees, plus more benefits. That's what this office is for, so come by and I'll explain everything.
And before starting the video, it's my responsibility to tell you that many of the guys who go to Canada to study under this program are really on a tight budget during their first years. Why? Because the spouse is working full-time, yes, but the other spouse is studying and paying for school. It's not cheap, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A fantasy that, oh yes, you have more than enough for your tuition, to go to Disneyland, to fill up your shopping cart, to rent a big house. Well, honestly, guys, you're going to be on a tight budget. You won't have money to spare because you have to pay for tuition. Is it an expense for 2 years or for the duration of your diploma program?
And once you finish school with your post-graduation work permit, you'll feel the happiness and excitement of receiving your paycheck. Your first paycheck, which won't be for paying tuition and will be spent on whatever you like. It won't go toward paying credit cards and debts you got into because you were paying tuition. But that's little by little. The Canadian dream is a steep climb. You don't get there by running, you have to go step by step, little by little, step by step. We'll help you. I've already been through all of this and I assure you it's worth it.
Don't give up on the Canadian dream. Yes, it's hard, it's uphill, 3, 4, 5 years depending. But don't look at it as 2 years in the future. Look at it as 10 years in the future, when you're already citizens of what it is.
In my opinion,
the best country in the world is not a perfect country, I've said it.
But I think it's the world's best.
I love the privileges of being a Canadian citizen.
In fact, I would rather be an average middle-class Canadian citizen today, living in an average apartment in Canada, than be the King of England about 100 years ago. I have access to better services, products, food from all over the world year-round, and conveniences today than the richest celebrities of the last century. My life is much more comfortable and safer than that of the King of Spain. In the Viceroyalty, the average Canadian's quality of life is higher than that of Cleopatra or any other historical figure from the past. Buying your residency through a school in Canada is expensive, yes, but focus on the final result.
And then you have a great time building a solid and secure future for your family. I was going to say, look at me as an example, but I think I'm no longer a good example of the Canadian dream. No, actually yes, putting my marriage aside, Canada is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I urge you to follow the same path. If you want, later on, I share with you the experiences of couples and families who are immigrating to Canada and are in that process, the student pathway, the postgraduate permit, my residency. We are going to share the experiences of these families with you so they can tell you what this journey has been like for them. It's difficult, but the goal is really worth it. And now we offer more countries that have advantages that Canada doesn't have. For example, do you want to go to Canada to study English? In Canada, you can't work. They don't give you a work permit anymore, but in Ireland, yes, you can go study English and they give you a work permit. If Ireland is too cold, if you don't like it, well, Australia is warm and also gives you a work permit for studying English. And like that, each country has its advantages and disadvantages. We're going to expand further into the whole European Union, all the developed countries, all the city-states, the US multiple programs. And eventually I'm going to make a video for you. I'm going to go in person to all these destinations we offer to show you what life is like for immigrants there, and the programs, I'm going to show you all of them. Now, if you still can't travel, we have these intensive English courses so you can learn, and they really work. They will give you the conversational level you need.
In these courses, you will speak no matter what. They're intensive, 3 hours a day with native speakers. If you're not ready yet to start with this school thing, to get your residency, that's okay. Look, while you're saving up, take a short course so you can already speak fluent English while you wait.
Paseo del Moral, Avenida Insurgentes, here we are. We are going to show you, at no cost and with no obligation, all the options you have to permanently immigrate to Canada with your family through education.
Why the state of Guanajuato and why the city of León? The city of León is the most strategic location in the country to open the first office for this specific type of service. Look at this map of the population distribution in Mexico. Here we can welcome prospective clients from all the surrounding cities. Later we'll have one in Mexico City, Monterrey, and the usual places, but for now, this is the best place we can be. But the state of Guanajuato is very dangerous. Really? Later, I'll show you everything I've learned about Guanajuato since I've been here.
I'll give you your free consultation in person. I'll help you here with no time limit. We can stay and chat for an hour if you want. Just grab some tacos.
So now you know your first step toward the Canadian dream starts here, in this humble first CB Canada office in Mexico. We hope to see you soon.